Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. And I surely got a lot more insight into what the SL9 case entails there. I'm sorry to hear this, Jake Marshall. I really am. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared. I mean, it makes me question this. What were you going to do with that evidence? Jake, I mean, you surely were planning on doing something with that evidence. I mean, at the very least, you wanted to buy some more time so that the SL9 case were to be discussed like once again. Maybe that's why you wanted to steal that evidence. So that you will bring a lot more attention to it like once again and thus discuss it a little more and find out more secrets. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze me. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's got to be more than just that. I mean, we have established that what happened in the evidence room wasn't a setup for what happened at the prosecutor's office, but for it to happen at the same time when the quote-unquote murder occurred at the parking lot is still making me question things. I mean, I'm curious about one thing. Why did Jake Marshall choose to steal from the evidence room at 5:15? Like, at that point exactly. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky. Oh. Not again! But wait! A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All the mysteries at the police department have been uncovered. No contradictions remain. The murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. There were no errors in the testimony of the witness, Angel Star. If you have a response, make it one word or less. Oh, we sure have one word. And one word is all we need! Come on. You were supposed to say objection. It's like the word that defines you. If you look for the word objection in the dictionary, your face will be there. You had one job, son. One job. And you blew it. I rest my case. Edward! It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time. Disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Well, I guess this is the end, Nick. Our first failed case. Either we get out and buy 2 tickets to Honolulu after this, or we shall expect someone to object here in 3, 2, 1, 0. There you go. Emma! You're back!
Your Honor, wait!
Emma?
The defense has an objection. A scientific objection.
Well, if it's a scientific objection, then we have to listen to her. Judge?
Right?
What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Guardian? Your Honor, in a sense.
Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Thank you, AG.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings.
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky's sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. And it left only one thing. The other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found on the Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again.
So, did you find something?
No.
Well, at least you tried. Huh?
Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Emma, you're only just beginning. And whether you'll be a good scientific investigator or not in the future, I cannot say, but what I value the most is seeing you try to help, and that is really, really important, Emma. Trust me, I know some girls like you who have been in a similar rut, but managed to pull up and walk forward with determination and a smile, so you don't have to be so hard on yourself, especially right now. Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney. Oh, come on, Nick. Don't be such an ass. I mean, yeah, you are an attorney, but you are set in your life right now. Am I still trying to find a raise?
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If you're gonna find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy! Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I cannot be more of use. But still, if you cannot find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yeah, I mean, come on, Nick. You are our only hope! If we don't do this, then it will all end here, and things will go kaboom! Yes, Your Honor. If I ever needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on the Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Well... Could there be something... Sure, well... If I am to look back at the video... We weren't able to see that locker specifically because it was behind the blue badger. I mean, it was right around the corner. The blue badger, like it was behind the blue badger if you were to look at the video, so... Yeah, maybe there is something we may have overlooked. So, object to that shit! This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. Don't we always? You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? What? Something is missing? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. What? Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something here I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? Which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? Well, usually when we have a map like this, we draw blood, but... Do you mean to say that there's another handprint, like bloody handprint that we haven't seen till now? That a bloody handprint exists there... It couldn't exist there without another pair? Yeah, I guess so. Let's see. As they say back west, even a blind man can't hit with a buckshot. That is, so long as he's facing the general direction. Since Mr. Wright's not sure which direction to face. It's no use. Oh, don't go, it's no use on me, son. The more evidence there is, the more wrong choices. Yeah, I mean, we do have like a shit ton of evidence in the record room in this case.
Just calm down, Mr. Wright. Try and remember what the evidence room was like on the day of the crime.
Oh, okay, that's what you meant. And I just talked about this before, like a minute before this. What is it that bothers me about this blood mark? Please allow me another chance, Your Honor. I'll prove it this time. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here... Okay. I think I get it. Emma actually answered my question. This is what was missing in the day we investigated. That was at the day of the crime. I guess I was thinking about the floor plan specifically. Something that should have been drawn but wasn't there. But actually this blue badger was supposed to be... Actually, it wasn't supposed to be drawn. You know what I mean. This should be it. What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth. Guardian of proof. And a big fan of magic. There's no room in that logic. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What? So that means, just what exactly what does that mean? What it means is that whoever touched that safe with their bloody hands did it before the Blue Badger was placed there that day. Which would mean... hold on a second. Which would mean before 4:50 p.m. when Officer Meekins brought in the Badger in the evidence room for the first time. Huh. It means it can all be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me! I didn't put it there!
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically.
Oh hey, you're here now. Emma, where did you come from?
On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in? Well, duh! It is as clear as the full moon can be. I thought that you were thinking the same thing. Just one moment. I'll not allow such far-fetched blabberdash in my courtroom. Balderdash. Sorry, I never heard that word before. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice! But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time, someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered! What? That's ridiculous! I refute you! The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found at the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves it occurred. When did the first incident occur? To surmise, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was disguised as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. The blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur? Proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. Alright, well, I think I know exactly what we shall present, Nick.
Hint! It is something that has a lot of random numbers.
There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present this evidence? what shows when the first crime took place?
It would have to be the ID card record, sir. Partner?
If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the perpetrator would have had to have entered the room. In order to do so, an ID card is required. An ID card? Oh! The ID card record!
Yes, indeedy.
Officer Meekins brought the blue badger panel into the evidence room at... let's see here... 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be... 4:40 p.m. Oh! Oh! Miles Edgeworth! Just what have you done? Oh. Hold on, Judge! Don't be... Don't be pointing your finger at him yet. There's still that other ID number as well. Like that 77777 ID number. I never figured you had the nerve, boy. Put off the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. Clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murder. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. I mean, you'd also have to take good care of that nobody sees you carrying the dead body in the first place, so that would take some time as well. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 777777. Talk about a lucky number. I know, right? A lucky number of death! But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. Yeah, that will be the explanation for it. The murderer invited Goodman in, using their own ID number. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777777. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777. How many syllables was that? I think it was 7, right? Actually, hold on a second. How many sevens are there? There are 7 sevens. Okay. Ah, that's actually pretty good. Actually, hold on. Is every single ID number same in amount? Yeah, each number has like 7 digits. So, yeah. I guess so. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Was it? Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. Eh? At least, at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. The rank of captain or higher, say? Someone who is so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous! Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If they witnessed the crime themselves, or... if an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slender, is it? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her. The defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Huh? Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Oof. Here it comes. It has been said that forged evidence was used to solve that case. I wonder if we will talk about this like right now. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time,
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law.
Huh?
At least, I did. Nana! I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized that, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
But why don't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is.
So, you're telling us that it's true?
We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence.
See, that's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order! 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 Oh god! Panic!
Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial. We have to wait until the following day.
Panic! Panic! Chaos everywhere! We're all gonna die!